Alright, here's some box plot help. They can be a little confusing at times, so I want to help you with one. I'm sure the notes were a little confusing when you were doing it because they are kind of strange. We don't use them very often in real life, but it is something you got to learn. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, and it's going to make a huge difference, is you want to put your list of numbers from least to greatest. And I very strongly recommend marking them out as you go, because if you write one down twice on accident, then all of your information is going to be wrong. So obviously the smallest one is 11. I'll do 11. And then I see a 12 and a 12. I see two 12s. 12 and a 12. And then if we keep going in the teens, I see 18. And then we get into the 20s, I see a 20. Don't see a 21, but I do see two 22s. Okay. Still stay in the 20s, I see a 23. Then I see a 36, then a 40. So 23, 36, and 40. 23, 36, and 40. Okay? So a box plot is all about medians, meaning the middle. Okay? It's median, median, median is what it is. You're going to find three medians at the very beginning. So I'm going to try to change colors here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to find out how many of these numbers do we even have. Okay? 1, 2, I'm starting at the 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 numbers. So that means there's going to be a perfect middle. There's going to be 5 numbers on one side and 5 numbers on the other. Okay? We can mark out numbers if we want to, but if we know that there's 10, we can count up 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth number is 20. So that means the middle is in between 20 and 22. Okay? So that is actually going to be our first median. And that is considered the median. So I would put an M on top of that. That is also known as quartile 2. Okay? Quartile meaning quarter. All right, now right now it's a half, but we're about to find some other things also. All right, so now we're going to find, now we have a lower half and we have an upper half, meaning just the numbers to the left are lower, the numbers to the right are higher or upper numbers. All right, so now I'm going to go to the left, meaning the lower half. We've got 11, 12, 12, 18, and 20. So that's 5 numbers. So that means the third number is going to be the middle number. We could also we could mark out like this until we get to the middle. But because I know that there's 5, that means it's going to be the third number right there. And I'm going to put my line over that number. Okay? That is known as quartile 1, meaning that is the first quarter. Okay? So now I'm going to go to the upper half. I'm going to do the same thing. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So that means the middle number, meaning the third number. I'm going to put a mark over that. That is 23. That is known as quartile 3. Okay. So these are called box plots. All right. So we are going to now turn this into a box. I guess technically it would be 2 boxes. So there's the box. But that's not all that we're going to do. They're called box and whisker plots. We just don't call them that. But originally they used to be called box and whisker. So now we have our box. Now we're going to make some whiskers. And the whiskers are going to go out on both sides to the smallest and the largest number. Like that. Okay, so now it's a box and whisker plot. The first quartile is right here. That's quartile 1. Okay? Then we have quartile 2, which is this section right here. Then we have quartile 3. And then the 4th quartile. So if we look at that, it's all perfectly evenly laid out, right? In each one of those, there are not 3 numbers, but they're kind of 2.5 numbers in each. So if we look in the first quartile, right, we have 11, 12, and then we went halfway through the 12, right? The third one. All right, and then in quartile 2, we went halfway through that 12, and we have 18 and 20. So it all looks nice and even, right? So think about quartiles or a quarter. Isn't a quarter 25% of a dollar? Yes, it is. A quarter is 25% of a dollar, so that means that this quarter is 25%. This one is 25%. It's broken up into fourths, 25%. And this one is 25% of the information. Okay, it could also be written as 25 hundredths, which you know that from the fraction, decimal, and percent unit. It could also be written as 1/4 because it's 1/4 of it, right? All right, so now what we need to do, and we can actually get all of our information from the box plot that we just made, but we have to do it on a number line. So first, let's look on the left, and it's asking for the minimum value. That's meaning the smallest number in the box plot. Well, what is that? It's 11. It's an easy answer. 11. Okay, and then we have quartile 1, which that quartile 1 goes directly over that 12, right? So quartile 1 is 12. And then we have quartile 3, which is right there. It goes directly over that 23. So quartile 3 is 23. And then we have the maximum, so meaning the largest number in the box plot, which is 40. That's where the whisker is. And then we have the median, which is also known as quartile 2. Median just means the middle. Sometimes we can mess this one up. It's in between 20 and 21. So if you just think what number is in between 20 and 21, or excuse me, 20 and 22, well, it's 21. So quartile 2 is actually 21. And then we have interquartile range. Okay, the only way that I can remember this is what's on the inside of the box. Well, the highest number is 23. The smallest number is 12. Okay, so range, meaning how far apart are they? Some people would say, well, it's from 12 to 23. Right, well, that's true. But how far is that? So you would actually do 23 minus 12, which 23 minus 10 is 13, minus 2 is 11. So really, that's kind of only the major math work you have to do, which I know subtracting is not that hard. So the interquartile range is 11. All right, now we have to take all that information and we have to put it on the number line, okay? And you have to make it on your own. So we have to get from 11 to 40, right? And so we may actually have to count each little mark as 2 instead of by ones, okay? So I tell you what, let's go 22. I'm going to do different colors, sorry. This may be the hardest part about it, is making your own box plot. Alright, so let's start somewhere in the middle. So we need to go from 10 to 40. Let me see how many marks there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that would be 30. Yeah, so we can do that. So we're going to go from 10 to 40, but we're going to go by twos. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38. I'm going to go ahead and put 40 out here. 40. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now we just make that box plot on the number line, which should be easy money since we have all the information. So our smallest value was 11, right? So I'll go right here. And it always goes above 11. Our first quartile was at 12. This is where the box plot's going to look really strange. Then our median was at 21. We're just going to put a line. We're just going to recreate it down below. And then our quartile 3 was at 23. And our maximum, meaning our biggest number, was 40, which gets the whisker. So this is where people get confused. Okay, so let's make our box with those 3 lines. There we go. And then make your whiskers. So this is where people start to get confused, because if you look at our box plot on the numbers up above, it's nice and evenly spaced, right? But if you look down below, it's not. It almost looks like this whisker on the right is bigger than the one on the left, but it's actually not. Because if you think about the one on the left, what's involved, what numbers are in this small area right here? Well, it's 11, 12, and 12. So we have 3 numbers in our box plot right there on that one little spot. Okay? And then this one here, it looks huge, right? Like it includes tons of numbers. Well, it doesn't. It actually only includes 3 numbers. It includes these up here, 23, 36, and 40. The only difference is they're just kind of far apart, right? So that's why that box plot looks so strange. But don't forget, every little part in that box plot is worth 25%. So let me see if I can kind of get the same colors. So this little part right here, that's not the right color, that's for sure. This little part right here is 25%. This large part right here is 25%. This small part right here is still 25%. And I think it was probably about that color. There we go. And this right here is also 25%. Okay, so they're all equal. They're all quarters. Think of, you know, basketball game or something. You play quarters, 4 quarters. Sometimes they feel like they go really fast, or sometimes you score a bunch of points in 1 quarter. Sometimes you don't. Okay, that is box plots.